You could have a $1 bill sitting in your wallet or purse that's worth a lot more money than just $1. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know to make sure you aren't missing any rare $1 bill that you could possibly find out in your pocket change. The first thing you need to know is that if you find one of these bills, the first thing you should do is not fold it and put it in your wallet or purse. You should find a flat, heavy object like a book or something to keep the note flat in. That's the first thing you need to do, because every single fold on the bill, even if it's on the corner tip, will significantly decrease the value of the bill. Next, you need to know that your bill was either produced at the Washington, D.C. Bureau of Engraving and Printing or the Fort Worth BEP. Now, how do you know where your note was produced? I'm going to throw up a diagram that I made. You will see a small little plate position on the bottom right corner of your bill. You're either going to have a number with a letter, or you're going to have a number with a letter and the letters FW, which stand for Fort Worth, Texas. Fun fact, if your bill on the bottom right hand side of the bill have an FW, that means your bill was produced at the Fort Worth BEP. If your bill has a plate position with a number and a letter and that's it, that means it was issued at the Washington BEP. Now this is where the value comes into play. If your bill only has a number on the bottom right side of the bill, that means you have a web note. A web note is something I'm going to go into in this video, so let's just hop right into it now. This $1 bill sold for $4,200. Remember earlier I was talking about the condition of your bill. This is why right here, this note graded as a PMG 67 EPQ. Long story short, what you need to know is if your bill is in good condition, it may be worth sending off to get graded if you have all these areas that I check off here. So this is a 1988 $1 Federal Reserve note, and it was graded at the grade of a 67. That's only a few points away from the perfect grade of 70. The centering of the bill is what dictates how high the bill can go in the uncirculated grade. So if your bill is really off center, left to right or top to bottom, that will negatively impact the grade. I'm going to throw a few more diagrams up here of how to tell if you have a web note or not. That in combination with the fact that this is a star note on top of a web note really increase the value of this note. To make a long story short, how star notes are made is essentially you have large sheets of bills that are printed, and sometimes during the printing process an error can occur. Quality control will mark off that sheet of bills and that sheet will be destroyed, and they will need to produce a new sheet of banknotes in order to fulfill their bookkeeping purposes, and they designate these new sheets with a star at the end. Sometimes there are a lot of mistakes during a print run, which will produce a lot of star notes, and sometimes there's only a few sheets that have errors on them, which means there is a small run of star notes. The smaller amount of mistakes that happen during a print run, the more money your star note's going to be worth, because there are not that many out there. So a combination of having a web note plus a star note plus a high grade is the perfect combination of why this note sold for $4,200. This is a good example of you not needing the best condition note, but if you have a good serial number with a star, that can really push the value over the top. You see, unfortunately, someone wrote on this bill, they put a 50, maybe that's what they sold the bill for at the time. That still would have been a good deal, because imagine buying this note for $50 and being able to sell it for $6,600 like this note sold for. So these two notes sold for $58,750, and this is why. So the story with these notes are, there was a bank teller and they were receiving bricks of $1 bills, and they received 4,000 notes. This is typical for a brick like this, and you can see on here that the serial number range went from 999960001 all the way up to 1 million. So he took the first and the last bill from this brick of notes and kept onto it. The interesting thing about this was typically a 100 million serial number bill do not exist, simply because they run out of digits in order to print. So once you get up to a solid number 9, the serial number printing machine will automatically flip over to all zeros again. But you can see also on that solid number 0 bill at the top there is what you call a BEP rejection mark, because that bill should have never gone out into circulation. This person probably should have sent it back to the BEP for it to be destroyed, but he did not. He held onto it. So you can see out of this $4,001 bill brick, he took the first, he took the last, he got the last one graded by PMG. This whole lot sold together for $58,750. If you enjoyed this video, then you'll definitely enjoy the one on the screen right now.